Is your landlord breaking the law in Florida by trying to evict you during a pandemic? My name is Michael Wasylik. I'm one of the lawyers at Ricardo and Wasylik here in Florida, and together with my partner Jason Ricardo, I help people just like you overcome foreclosure and debt collection with dignity. And today I'm going to tell you if your landlord is trying to evict you during the pandemic, whether your landlord is breaking the law. So first things first, you need to know that there's two laws that are in application right now. And as I shoot this, it's the end of May 2020. There's two laws that stretch into June and July of 2020 that right now affect all tenants, all landlords that might be facing an eviction because you can't pay your rent during the pandemic outbreak. Now, the first of those laws right now is actually an executive order by Governor DeSantis. Florida Governor DeSantis has issued an order that suspends all foreclosures and evictions, and right now that effective date is through June 2nd. He may extend it, he may not, but right now, as I shoot this, it is June 2nd that is effective, and there's no foreclosures or evictions that can be filed during that process or threatened. So that's one, and that applies to all evictions, all tenants, all landlords. The second law that is relevant is the Federal CARES Act, which was the Coronavirus Relief Act, passed on March 27th of 2020. And what that act provides is that landlords who have federally backed mortgages cannot evict anyone for 120 days from the time the act passed. That is July 25th of 2020. July 25th of 2020, under the federal law that affects federally related mortgage holding landlords. So if your landlord borrowed money, it's backed by the feds, and they are renting that property to you, they cannot evict you for non-payment of rent through July 25th. Now, when you're talking about the CARES Act and when you're talking about the governor's moratorium, what type of acts are actually going to break the law under those legal provisions? Well, first of all, understand that there's a lot of other laws that apply. There's state landlord-tenant law, there's federal debt collection law that may apply. So there's a whole bunch of things there. But because the moratorium and the CARES Act make the eviction illegal, then there are certain other things that flow from that. The threatening to evict is also illegal, and there are certain other measures your landlord might be tempted to take that are also illegal. So let's talk about a few of those illegal acts, some of those things that might break the law if your landlord tries to do them to you right now. First of all, if your landlord threatens to evict you, if the landlord threatens to evict you during a time when they don't have a legal right to do so. So if your landlord says, I'm going to evict you, I'm going to file a new eviction before the end of May if you don't pay me within 3 days, or if your landlord says, I'm going to evict you before the end of July and they've got a federally related mortgage. If they threaten to do that, if they try to kick you out on that 3-day notice, if they give you a 3-day notice when they're not allowed to, that, in my opinion, is a way your landlord would be breaking the law. If your landlord actually files an eviction complaint, and by the way, in Florida, what we've seen is that there have been hundreds of eviction lawsuits filed even during the time when the governor has shut down evictions. I believe that those filings, in those court filings, violate the law. Those new evictions filed during the time when foreclosures and evictions were suspended, those violate the law. They violate again, a whole host of laws, but if they were filed while either the governor's moratorium was in effect or while a CARES Act provision prevented them from evicting, I believe they're breaking the law. Number 3, they can't engage in what's called self-help. Now that can take a number of forms, but basically they're not allowed to evict you without getting a court order. And if they try to force you out by changing the locks, turning off the utilities, threatening or harassing you until you move out, if they try to do any of those things, that's known as self-help, and that's illegal under Florida law. And if they try to do that instead of going to court because the eviction process has been frozen, that is a way your landlord might be breaking the law. Now, if you believe your landlord has done something in violation of federal law or state law or the governor's executive order, what can you do? What should you do? Well, what we recommend is that obviously you consult with a lawyer, because sometimes it's not easy to tell whether your landlord's covered by any particular act. Again, the governor's executive order applies to all landlords and tenants in the state of Florida, to all residential tenants in the state of Florida. Commercial evictions aren't included. But if it's a residential eviction, that is covered. And then the CARES Act applies to all federally backed mortgages. Now that's broader than it sounds, because it's not just a Fannie Mae mortgage or a Freddie Mac mortgage. The law defines it as anything that's assisted really in any way by a federal program. So that can be very, very broad if properly analyzed, if properly investigated. Most tenants don't have the ability to figure out whether their landlord has a federally related mortgage. That information just isn't available in most cases. So you're going to need some investigation. So what do we recommend? You're going to want some help. You're going to want to talk to a lawyer to find out what your legal rights are under your landlord's specific circumstances. So and then once you have a lawyer investigate, you may find out you have a few options. One, if an eviction's been filed, you can fight back. You can defend it in court, and you can win. You can win. If your landlord is breaking the law by evicting you and you have proper legal help, you absolutely can win that eviction, and your landlord will have to pay your legal fees. So you won't even have to pay for the cost of defending yourself. Secondly, if your landlord is breaking the law by evicting you, that may be a violation of a number of different laws, state law governing landlord-tenant actions. It may be a violation of federal debt collection law. It may be a violation of state debt collection law for threatening to do certain things. So there's all kinds of different laws that your landlord might be breaking, and if they are breaking the law, you may be able to sue them back. You can sue them for damages. You can sue them for attorney's fees that you've had to pay or that you've promised to pay in defending yourself. In many cases, lawyers will assist you without requiring payment because they know they'll get that money out of the landlord at the back end. So there's all kinds of options that you have. Again, you can defend yourself, you can countersue, and much of the time, if your landlord's breaking the law, that help will be free to you. So how do you find help? What we recommend you do is this. And before I tell you exactly what to do, I'm going to remind you that if this has been helpful so far, please like it so that other people can see it. Please share it if you know somebody who needs to hear this information. There's a share button on the YouTube channel that allows you to share it with anybody else. And then thirdly, if this is interesting to you, if you have other questions that are related, put a comment in the comment section. We'll do our best to answer any comments that come out of this video, or shoot a whole new video itself. We'll either do it in the comment section or we'll shoot a new video. And then subscribe if you think you'll be interested in other related topics related to evictions, foreclosures, and protecting your credit score during the pandemic and everything in that general realm. So if you are interested in this topic, go ahead and subscribe. Like it if it's been helpful, comment with questions, share it with somebody who might need it. So once you've done all those, how do you get help for yourself? You call our office and we will give you a free appointment with one of our lawyers to talk about your legal rights as a tenant in Florida under the pandemic. What we'll do is we'll ask you to call 352-567-3173. We're going to put that number in the description as well. So call 352-567-3173, and we will give you a free appointment if you mention this video, which is the Landlords Breaking the Law under the pandemic video. Just say Landlords Breaking the Law video and we'll know what you're talking about. So mention this video and you'll get a free appointment to talk to one of our lawyers to find out if we can help you stop eviction now during this pandemic. If your landlord is breaking the law or if might be breaking the law, you need help to figure that out, we can help you do that. So give us a call. Again, the number is 352-567-3173. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.